I'm his locker buddy, and locker real estate's a big deal. I've learned in this league. It kind of ends up being who you relate to as the people around you, And so it's important that you're around a good group or guys you wouldn't maybe normally see in meetings and stuff. So yeah, but I had the privilege of being next to him, so I've gotten to know kind of how he's wired. And when you draft somebody, especially high, you want to make sure you didn't just draft a great player, which he is, but that you draft a great person. And he is that too. And so that was a huge win when I realized that. Having my locker right next to him, it bodes well for his career. It bodes well for our team, and bodes well for my career, I guess you could say. So that's a positive. But I'll just open up, and then we can take any questions you have. Another good day of practice. It's just great to be out here and get the work and make reads, make throws, call plays, make adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Just working and making progress. And so, we're running out of time a little bit. I feel like from the off-season program standpoint, it's not going to be long before we're off for the summer break. So we've got to make the most of these last few practices and then make the most of our time away this summer. But things are trending in the right direction and feeling good. So I can take any questions you have.
Yeah, Kirk, Coach Morris was talking about laying the foundation and that process. You all are going through that and had a week break to kind of reflect. How do you feel that process and that foundation is coming along for you all at this juncture in the OTAs?
I feel very good about our progress over the last 9-10 weeks as a team together. We've covered a lot of football, a lot of install, and there's more to go. But just building continuity, building familiarity with teammates, with the scheme, with the coaches. That's what it's all been about, and we've definitely made those steps.
And he talked about your authenticity in your play calling and maybe adding a joke or something at the end. Could you give us an example of that?
I try to lead with presence, right? And have a little bit of force of personality. So when I step in the huddle, I try to make sure it's not just blah, that you're communicating well, that there's some presence there and you got some charisma. And so if it means a joke before or after, my humor tends to be pretty dry. So if you're not focused, you might not catch it. But I would guess most of my young teammates would tell you that it has a kind of a dad joke vibe to it. But I think they would tell you my humor lands with them. So try to have fun out here. OTAs has that feel because it is a little bit further removed from the season. You can kind of just be out here and enjoy, playing. You don't really have the looming game in a couple days. So that does lead us to, just having fun with the guys.
Obviously, the coaches out here, evaluating guys from a roster standpoint, building standpoint. But for you, how important is building chemistry?
Yeah, I think that's everything. I think it's okay. I like Kyle Pitts on this route. I think he does a good job with that break. Or I need to trust him more through this. It didn't look open to me, but he made it get open. And on a certain play that's new for me. Hey, I need to read it outside in. I thought I needed to read it inside out. And so just building that time on task together as a team and with the scheme is what is so important. And I wish I could tell you we have 5 years together. We don't, and so we have to make up for that with every rep we do get.
You mentioned the distance between you and Bijan and your younger players. What to you is the way to bridge that generation gap?
I think we just be ourselves. I think I've always tried to be a question asker. So I think if I'm asking questions, I'm going to learn a lot about people, about my teammates, and so that's always kind of been my strategy. And it's great guys, and I don't feel too much of a gap because they are great guys, and we make it fun. Today, Taylor was talking about he talks about how the age thing. You kind of use September 11th, 2001 as like the how old were you when that happened, and Bijan wasn't born yet. And so that was a little bit of a wow. And Taylor, I said, how old are you, Taylor? He said, 4th grade. And Tyler Algier looked down. He said, 4th grade? Because Tyler was like 1. And I said, Tyler, I was in 7th grade, man. So, and honestly, it's a blessing. I hope someday that, the gap is even bigger because it means I'm still playing and still connecting. So, and hopefully it is a day someday where it is a dad gap, because it probably makes me a better parent to my boys if I have that. So, But we take it one day at a time, and I'm enjoying all the guys, young, old. I'm just enjoying the group.
Kirk, we've been talking today about the monitors that they've used
Yeah.
along the sideline. I imagine that you like that kind of thing. Have you seen that before, experienced it, and could kind of talk about how it's helped you?
They had it with the Rams. They brought it to Minnesota when Kevin O'Connell came from the Rams to Minnesota, so that was new for us in Minnesota. I'm sure that's going to kind of take over the league in time, but now Atlanta has it. And it took me a while in Minnesota to train my mind to realize I have that resource. I was so used to not having it. So I'd come off the play, say to the coach, hey, I think it was 3 hook, but I'm not sure. And he'd say, well, you got a video right over there you can see. So I've now trained myself for when the play ends, probably to a fault. I look over and a teammate may be asking something. I'll be like, hold on a second, I'm trying to watch this clip. So it's a great resource. I think what it does is just clears up some of the mystery. And then when the defense is having a period during the season, we can go over there and talk through something while we're waiting to get our reps. So it's just a way to be efficient with time.
You mentioned the all-season program rapidly coming to a close. Has your recovery from the injury added a different bit of intensity to that time frame of this off-season? And can you catch us up with how you feel that has come as we're a week away from mandatory camp?
I think what's been the most positive part for me is getting the reps, because when I first did it and I was in Minnesota the second half of last season, the conversation was, what will OTAs look like? And the answer I got back was, we won't put you in the practice reps. It's just not worth it. If it's a walkthrough maybe, but the practice reps, you don't need to be in there. And so I was planning on basically getting my first practice rep late July. And I feel that I've gotten every rep there was to get in these OTAs, and I think that's been a huge win for making up, building that continuity that we talk about.
Jake was telling us that you're a big movie quote guy.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love it, Mark.
Any go-to lines?
So, first of all, Jake is my generation, right? So, like, when we talk about the sweet spot movies, I'll quote, Heavyweights with Ben Stiller, and it's just crickets. And then I'll get a laugh from way over in the other side of the locker room from Jake Matthews, because he knows the reference. Taylor Heineke's close. He's like 4 or 5 years behind me, but that's close enough where we can kind of hang with our shared sense of humor with movies. But, all the sports movies kind of show up at practice. Definitely Heavyweights. That's a big one right now. So I'm thinking about having a watch party with the O-line where we watch Heavyweights to introduce these guys to Heavyweights. But we're going to Texas Roadhouse tomorrow, so that's our first thing. We're kind of checking out these chain restaurants, RIP Red Lobster. So we're going to go to Texas Roadhouse, but maybe we'll get a Heavyweights watch party before the OTAs end.
So have your younger generation teammates taught you anything so far when it comes to movie quotes or anything like that? Music?
Yeah, the artists and the music in the weight room, I'm learning a lot. Learn a lot there. Social media, I can't keep up with the cool app. I thought Instagram was cool, and then it was, no, you got to have this next one, TikTok or whatever. So I'm trying to keep up with it, but it's good because it makes me a better parent, right? So I know what's cool with my boys someday. So it's good to keep me.
Atlanta's a big hip hop city.
Atlanta is a big hip hop city. Atlanta's a big hip hop city, so I'm trying to get familiar with it. Feel very welcomed here, that's for sure.
He's been talking about how he's been able to take a lot away from you when it comes to your one-on-one conversations, whether it's how you want him to run routes or how he could do things better. What have you learned in your time together so far? I'm excited to get him on the practice field here today because handing the ball off to him, you could see the movement skills. I just appreciate his positive approach. He's going to be the same guy every day. He's not going to ride the roller coaster. And who that guy is going to be a positive person who's always looking to the next play. And he's an encouraging teammate. I try not only to, say, hey, run this route like this. I also try to say, hey, how's your family? How's your, how do you spend the off season? What are your training habits? What stresses you off the field? Just try to, because I've lived all that. It's hard, and I don't want guys to carry more of a weight than they need to carry. So try to help them if I can with some of the things I've learned, by making mistakes and learning from it. Try to help other guys who can learn from what I've gathered.
Kirk, you said in the past that you always operate in risk and reality. And
Yeah.
Talking to Raheem earlier, I was asking him when he feels comfortable with you going full tilt, to get more reps and go full speed. And he just said whenever we play Pittsburgh on that day, you to get the reps to go full speed, when would you want that to be that you feel most comfortable?
I mean, I want it to be today, but you just got to let your body tell you when. So my body I'll be able to feel that, okay, the strength is there fully, or there's nothing, I'm not feeling anything in the ankle or Achilles. So you just kind of let your body tell you. You just do. What I've learned is what you can't do is ignore what your body tells you. I'll tough it out, I'll grind it out, and that's the surest way to make sure it doesn't heal as fast as possible. So you just try to listen to your body.
And do you have a favorite line from heavyweights?
It's impossible to say one, but speaking of talking to younger players, I referenced when Ben Stiller is referring to his previous self before he thinned down, and he says, "I know you because I was you." I say that to so many teammates so many times. When I see them doing something foolish, I'll say, "I know you because I was you." So, anyways.
Oh, it's kind of just building off
Yeah.
of his question. Thank you for that. When you're talking about your rehab process, do you ever find yourself right now maybe feeling like so good that you kind of have to, like they have to hold you back a little bit, or you want to do more, but they're like, okay, we gotta. Like you're at that point
I
yet?
think there has been moments like that in practice when you get your adrenaline gets going and you do maybe take off to run, and they're like, you don't need to do that right now, it's OTAs. So that happens from time to time, but it's a good problem if that's happening.
Jake also said that the Netflix documentary was really accurate in terms of how you study. So when you study the game, like what's something that's really proved successful for you?
Yeah.
Like what's one of the things that you really focus on?
One habit among several that has worked for me that I just probably never will stop is drawing the plays. I like to see them. I don't know if it's because I'm a visual learner or what, but if a play gets installed, I have to take my pen and I have to just draw it myself like a doodle and see it. And kind of as I look at it, as I draw it, go through the progression, the footwork, any problems with the play that may arise. But for me, drawing the play has been something I just can't stop. So every script, every day, I fill up a page of just drawing every play. And it's worked for me this long. I'm probably not going to stop now.
When did that start for you, or who taught you maybe to do
Yeah, I think I just kind of started doing it naturally, probably my second or third year in the pros. I think I felt like the only way I could hear these plays and call them in the huddle or really own them is if I saw them. And so I know when I've learned a system is that when Zach says the play, I don't just hear it, I see it in my mind's eye. And when I can see the play in my mind's eye, that's when I know I've learned the offense. And so part of my process to be able to do that is to be drawing them as they're installed and as I get the script. So a lot of doodles in my notebook of drawn plays.
How's the relationship with Michael Penix been gelling in the quarterback room?
It's been great. It continues to be kind of that working force together. There's so much we all are kind of having to learn right now and grow together in, and so we're doing that. And Michael's doing great. John's doing great. Taylor's awesome. It's so good to have a person in the room who's started dozens of games and has been in the fire and really has that experience. I love being able to lean on that. So Taylor's been a huge asset.
Does Penix get the jokes yet, or not?
Oh yeah. No. He's he's definitely rolling right there with all of us.
How much do Darnell Mooney and Drake London complement each other's game style and giving you options?
Yeah, just both very talented players, very capable. Mooney has incredible movement skills, great hands. Football matters to him. There's an intense intent to his work that you don't see very often in players. Just thrilled with the player we got in Mooney, and then Drake. Just a very natural receiver, really friendly target. He kind of just looks open to your eye as a quarterback because of his size, the way he runs routes, his catch radius, his natural hands, his fluidity. And he can run the whole route tree, so you can ask him to do a lot. And he's tough, and he's a competitor. So feel very fortunate to work with those two guys, and it'll be a big part of our offense this year. Yeah.
It's just a few months, a quick question, it's just a few months before the preseason starts. So from start to finish, what are your expectations for the game?
For the preseason games?
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like a long ways away, but I think it's always a great test to evaluate where we are as an offense, as a system. I would love to get in and play if we can. We'll have to see as we get there where we are, but
it would be great to get out there and kind of have that full dress rehearsal.
Anything else? All right.
Awesome. Thank you. Yep.